Hey there!
Ahoy hoy!
Welcome to Aren't We Special. I'm Lee Service.
And I'm Aaron Hill.
Every week on Aren't We Special, we take turns choosing a stand-up special. We watch it, and then we talk about it.
Yeah, but it's not a review. We're not
Nope.
critics. We're comics. Talking about stand-up comedy.
Stand-up comedy, my favorite art form.
Not mine, but we're still here.
Close second.
Close second.
All right. Enjoy the show.
I enjoy interpretive dance.
What's nice about the hoodie is you can put the mic so it's not directly on your Adam's apple to amplify every gulp.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we're doing it.
Again.
Here we are.
Cheers to you.
I got a Timmy's.
I got a real coffee. May have Bailey's in it, may not.
You're saying Tim Hortons isn't real coffee?
I'm not a fan.
You don't like it?
It's good road trip coffee, but other than that, if I'm at home, I don't want Tim's.
Check this out.
Folks, our production value just went through the roof.
We got a slide whistle.
I think we're a professional podcast now.
If there's any zingers.
You know, it's so funny. I've never seen one of those in person. I know the sound intimately,
Yeah.
but you look at that, I'm like, what?
It was, I bought it for my daughter out along in McQuaid like years ago.
Hell yeah.
You got it. You can't blow too hard or else there's a trick to it. And you can kind of play it like a trombone, actually. Like,
Shittiest trombone ever. Yeah.
aliens.
Whoa. Dude.
That's like an old alien.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like an
Yeah,
old movie
dude.
where there's
No, I
aliens.
do,
It would
I
be
do.
that like
Shit, son.
Mac and Me. Did you ever watch Mac and Me?
Yeah, the robot, the short circuit.
Alien. No. That,
Okay.
you're thinking of.
Short circuit.
You're thinking of Short Circuit.
No, I don't remember.
Mac and Me is hilarious. These little aliens. I don't remember the story. I remember it's a family that has to move, and there's a kid in a wheelchair ahead of its time, a disabled star,
Very progressive.
and makes friends. An alien accidentally gets into their van when they're moving or something like that, and they become friends, and it's a giant Pepsi commercial.
Yeah.
It was like one of the first movies, I think it was a bit groundbreaking as far as like movies that really embraced a product
Yeah.
to fund the movie.
Yeah.
Which is
What a precedent they set, and what a. I was just watching hockey. I'm like, I can't see there's so many ads on the boards, on the ice. There's not a spare square inch of anything that's not advertising anymore.
can't spare a square.
Can't spare a square. So thank you, Pepsi, for setting that precedent and getting us where we are today.
Well, I think Adam Sandler did it pretty well, right? Have you noticed that? Every Adam Sandler movie has like a blatant, like Popeye's Chicken and Little Nicky.
I don't know. I don't remember.
In Mr. Deeds, they all have Wendy's on the helicopter.
Okay. Yeah.
Every Adam Sandler movie, there's like Happy Gilmore, I think, is Subway. It's all over.
Okay.
But it's like tied into the golf thing, so it's like more organic because.
Well, that's the nature of the game now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But,
I know.
But it makes sense, right? Like if you're a filmmaker, they're expensive to make, and why wouldn't you? You're gonna be drinking a pop or a beer or eating some food in the movie anyways. Why not do it for that company and have them fund your movie?
That is the way of the world. And
why wouldn't you?
With musicians too, right? Like getting on a commercial, getting your song on a commercial is a super viable way to get paid. Like touring doesn't really pay anymore if you're a musician or a performer, right?
Yeah.
It's tough. It's way tougher than it used to be.
It depends on the numbers you're getting. Yeah.
But like, yeah, so just even like to get a song on a movie or a TV show or a commercial or a video game, like that's a big part of the game that didn't used to exist, specifically because advertisers pay so well.
Yep.
And nobody else seems to.
Right.
And it's, yeah, it kind of sucks. I was watching in the
It
NHL.
sucks, but it's also good in a way because if that wasn't there would be even less avenues to make money. as an artist.
Yeah, maybe if people weren't greedy fucks.
Yeah.
I just miss watching NHL and being able to see the ice surface instead of
Yeah.
reading literally like 17 ads from the time the puck goes from one end to the next.
NASCAR has always been
Yeah.
way ahead of their time then, right? Because their jackets and their cars are
The whole thing,
have always been just plastered.
The Tide car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Mixed feelings. Not like I wouldn't turn it down.
It's gross, yeah. Like, it's definitely gross. Like, I don't want, like, if I'm into car racing, I'm into car racing. I'm not into cornflakes or whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
But I'm literally like, I'm so overstimulated just watching professional hockey. And I'm like, fuck, I would be able to pay so much better attention if there wasn't flashing, moving. The boards literally move, the advertisements.
And they switch.
It's
and
crazy.
Slide and,
oh my God. Like, I just wish I could, like, I do that to relax and unwind, and all it does is just hype up my brain. And I'm like, fuck, this is defeating the purpose here.
Yeah. And then you're ordering Viagra online and
It's just a never ending cycle.
buying a blow up doll.
Yep.
So I have a lot to talk about.
Do you now?
Yeah. Do you?
I got some things.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You want to go first?
Sure, man. Well, I guess one of the big things that happened is the Oh Craps.
Oh, yeah. And that stands for Ottawa.
Ottawa Comedy Can you do it?
No. Awards. I don't know what the P is. I know it's Ottawa Comedy.
It's not really,
Roast.
it doesn't really make sense, but it's Ottawa Comedy Roast Awards Presentation Show.
Okay, presentation show.
So they're just adding words to
But
make
is
it fit.
it because they wanted a fun acronym?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think that's the idea. So if you don't know, that's, it's what it is. It's an award show for Ottawa comedians, also a roast. Only Ottawa comedians are allowed to be involved. You can't bring your girlfriend, you can't bring your boyfriend, you can't bring members of the public. Club staff can go, but that's it.
Yeah, and it was at the Laugh Lounge.
Laugh Lounge.
Yeah.
I think it's because kind of like, I don't know if I trust, like roast culture's come a long way. It's probably not as big a deal now, but like when they started this, I don't think the general public could like not freak out when they would hear what was happening in there. Right? We get it because we're just part of it.
Yeah.
Like we just roast each other all the time. It's just kind of second nature.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people would get like really offended if they heard what the things
Or they
that were
just
said.
wouldn't get it and they'd be like, why are they
being mean?
insulting each other?
Yeah. So that, this was my first one, in fact. I've never been.
Yeah, me neither.
Now they've been going forever, like way before my time.
Okay,
even.
cool.
Yeah.
Who started it?
Nick Carter.
From the Backstreet Boys?
I believe he's got a joke about that.
Okay.
No, but
Not the same
very
guy.
funny fella. He doesn't really do it anymore, but I think he still gets airplay on SiriusXM. He'll just come out and like record an album like once every like 3 or 4 years, and it'll literally go to SiriusXM.
So is he clean?
But he doesn't really perform outside of that.
Okay.
He is pretty clean. He's a clean guy.
I've heard that about satellite radio. I don't know where. I forget where.
Yeah, he's a real like wacky kind of misdirect kind of comic. He's really good. But I believe this was his little pet project, and it's just it's taken off.
He's the Ottawa guy. It looked fun. I saw the photos. I saw a bunch of photos. I wanted to go, but I actually did 3 shows that week.
God damn.
Including the night before. Plus, my wife does a thing. She doesn't do a lot of social things. Every couple months, she does this thing with her girlfriends, and it landed on that night. So
yeah,
next year. Anyways, but yeah, it was fun.
It was something, man. It was first of all, it was lengthy. Yeah, and now I know, like I've heard the gossip from previous years, and one of those gossips was that it was way too long. People get 5 minutes to roast and then present an award.
Yeah.
And I guess it went so long one time, it was done at like midnight or something like this. So they said specifically this year, 5 minutes, you get 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Front load your jokes, like da-da-da. And it still was 2.5 hours long.
Wow.
And I was exhausted. I was tired as all hell. I came real close to nodding off on the way home, which scared the bejesus out of me.
That's not good.
Literally. I woke up and I was like, not quite drifting, but like shit was like going a little wonky.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy, so
That's no good.
No, it scared me. And now I always bring a coffee when I'm on the road now, just in case. I don't like to drink coffee at, midnight, but if it keeps me alive, that's gonna be helpful.
Good. Yeah, there's no way I'd be able to shut her down once I got home though.
Yeah, it was, but it was a crazy night, man. There's just a raucous energy. 'Cause I think the idea is like, this is certainly how I felt. I think it's probably how most people feel. Is like you're excited. It's a moment to celebrate your community and the people in it, and give people some well-deserved credit and recognition. But you're also nervous because at any given time, you or anyone you know could just be fucking obliterated on stage.
Right.
So there's this real nervous excitement in the air, and it manifests as just crazy laughter at these jokes. Like, you talk about a hot room.
Really?
I've never felt anything. It's crazy because it's just all this tension built up, and then any joke is just like boom. I mean, not any joke. Some of them were better than others, but for the most part, everyone who was roasting is a pretty solid joke writer, comic, right? So like,
and you know what? We have a lot of good laughers in the Ottawa comedy community. Like a lot of our fellow comics are actually good audience members too. Like they're attentive and they've got good laughs.
It's kind of one and the same for a lot of the shows, right?
Yeah.
Comic / audience member.
Well, yeah. Well, for the open mics for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, good time, cool. But definitely nerve-wracking. Now, I went last.
Yeah.
I literally roasted last, and I was so fucking tired. Like I work at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
I get up at 4 in the morning. This show, it was supposed to start at 8:30. Started at 9.
Ugh.
Went till 11:30. No. So I probably would have went on at 11:20, and I was.
Ugh.
And of course, by that time, everyone's shit-faced and exhausted because they've just been hearing Bang nonstop roasts for 2 hours. Mm-hmm. But it went pretty good, and but I was so fucking tired.
Yeah.
But hell of a time.
Sweet. Well, next year I'm looking forward to it, and it's always kind of the end of April, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay. Cool. Well, I have a bit of a story.
Do it up.
Do you remember? I'm not sure if it was. This has been going on for a while. I don't remember if it was last episode or the one before. But do you remember me saying that I wasn't feeling well and I was attributing it to maybe an oyster that I ate or something?
Do you have AIDS?
I don't have AIDS.
Okay.
But anyways, these symptoms that I was having continued, where like for another week and a half past that. Stomach, to the point where my stomach was hurting so bad that I was like barely able to eat. I was drinking water and it was hurt. I had cut out coffee.
God damn.
Yeah, everything was just kind of like hurting, and it got so bad that eventually I was like, you know what? I'm going to the hospital. I'm going to the emergency room because I'll at least get some tests and figure out what's going on, because I'm a bit stubborn that way. My wife had been telling me to go to the hospital for a few days, and I'm like, it'll go away, whatever. It just wasn't.
Don't have a GP?
I do, but to make an appointment and it would have been so long, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm just going to go to the emergency room, and then that way, they can do like a scan and tell me if I'm dying or not.
Yeah.
So I go to the hospital, they do a bunch of scans, and then whatever, they're trying to like figure stuff out. They think they see something, and then they go, well, we got to do this special CT scan where we inject dye into your bloodstream stream. And so I'm like, okay. So we go in there, and she puts the needle in my arm, and I've had blood work, like I've had lots of blood work. It doesn't bother me really. But she was like really rooting around in there with the needle. Like she was in, but was like, and she was like digging around. I'm like, is this lady new or what? And she finally gets it set up because it's like an IV thing, right? So it's like the little tap thing, and then they put the tube in.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, we're going to fire up the machine, and then the machine's going to tell you when the dye starts to go in. And so I'm like, okay, cool. They leave the room. They have to leave the room because it's like radiation or whatever. And from the, like, they didn't, the doctor ordered this test, and then the technicians came and got me and brought me in. No one even really told me what it was or why I was getting it.
Yeah.
So it was really weird. I didn't really like the way it unfolded. And then before they fired it up, she goes, when we put in the dye, you're going to feel like warm in the back of your throat. And a lot of people feel like they've wet themselves.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's crazy. Like, what is this stuff? Like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Was my thought. So, but I'm like, okay, whatever. It's a hospital, trust these people. So they leave the room. They fire up the machine. The machine goes, we are now administering the dye or whatever. This little robot voice talks to me.
Oh, that's the creepiest thing I've ever heard.
The whole thing is creepy.
Yeah.
The dye starts going in my arm. All of a sudden, it's like intense pain in my arm. So what happened was she put the needle, she blew through my vein. She went through the other side of my vein. So the dye was just going into my muscle or whatever. Dude. So what they heard from outside was, okay, so the robot went, we're now administering the dye. And then I went, it was me going, what the fuck? Fuck. I'm banging on the fucking thing. I'm screaming. They come running in. They have to shut down the machine. Oh my God, we're so sorry. It went through the vein. It's not supposed to go into your arm. I had this big lump in my arm where like the fluid was now. Dude, I was losing it. And then they're like, oh, this happens. We'll just switch to the other arm and we'll start over. I'm like, no,
I'll take my fucking
we're done.
oyster disease for the rest of my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck me.
So that happened. So that was a Wednesday. I go home. I've never had such like misplaced anger before. I was so angry.
Can I ask which hospital was?
It was Kemptville Hospital,
Hospital.
which has a reputation for not being a great hospital.
Okay.
Actually, when we moved to the area, it was one of the first things people said.
Yeah.
They're like, go to Smiths Falls, go to Perth.
Yeah.
Don't go to Kemptville.
Well, they do. There are reputations among hospitals for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I was so angry, dude.
I guess so.
And it was like, I wasn't like, it was a mistake. She didn't mean to do it. I wasn't mad at her. It was like a combination of technology and human error, but I was just like, I wanted to beat somebody up. So anyways, I was mad. I go home. I'm trying to chill out. And I was supposed to play at Yuck Yucks that night.
Okay.
I've never been so, like, I wanted to cancel.
Yeah.
I've never felt so much like not doing comedy before. And I always want to do comedy.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was almost like a really bad day followed by a really awesome night because I did go. I killed. Finally got to meet Ashley. Because I haven't done Yuck Yucks in like, it's been actually pretty much exactly, it was a year
Really?
that I had done it.
God damn.
And killed. And then Ashley asked me to do a showcase for Howard in June.
Amazing.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I was like, redemption.
Perfect.
It was a shitty day followed by a good night.
Well, that's the beauty of comedy. Like so many times, and here's why I don't always trust that impulse of is like, I'm tired or I don't feel up to it. I'm in a bad mood, whatever.
Yeah.
Is because sometimes as soon as you get at the show, the whole environment is different. It's like your body chemistry changes, right?
Dude.
And then you start to hear another comedian on stage and then they get the crowd warming up and then pretty soon you forget what even happened during the day and you just want to have a good time.
There's something unexplainable that happens about performing. I once played music with a guy. We were like an acoustic duo and we were playing at El Macombo in Toronto. It was a weeknight. It wasn't it definitely wasn't sold out. It was, but it's still the El Macombo. It was, pretty awesome venue. And he was dying. He had such bad back. He was sore back guy.
That guy. Yeah.
That night. Killing the vibe. Ruining barbecues, birthday parties.
Yep.
And and he was like not feeling it, you know what I mean? Pretty much had to drag him on stage. Mm-hmm. But we got up there, we started playing, and we used to sling jokes too while we were playing. I think that was kind of intro to comedy without kind of knowing
Sure.
it. As
Yeah,
we had a good rapport, and anyways, by the time, and then we had a great show. He was like, dude, as soon as we got into it, my back pain left completely and didn't return.
That's hilarious.
Like, and he was like dying for like a week up until then.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how
powerful.
I don't know what that is. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a real thing.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
No doubt. I got a fellow with a bad back who I go hunting with.
Yeah.
And when we went hunting, and he shot a couple deer that year, and the next week when I saw him, like he's a bad back pain guy. The next week he's just chest buffed out, smile on his face, fucking like for like 4 days.
Yeah.
And then he went back into
because he got a deer.
Yeah. He just did something he loved, and it just rejuvenated his whole system.
Yeah.
That's how it goes, eh?
That's true.
So a couple things, like I understand the anger. That's so frustrating when it's the person's job to hit the vein and they can't hit the fucking vein.
Yeah, but for real, I wasn't angry at her. She did apologize. I wasn't mad at her. It was just the situation. Like that's why I said misplaced anger, because I was angry and I didn't know what to do with it, and it was such a weird feeling.
But the other thing too, I mean, bedside manner is a really huge thing, and if you don't even really know why you're getting this really stupid weird test in the first place,
it was poorly handled.
That's on them, right? You should be clear as to what's happening to your body before it happens. Right?
Yeah.
So that's got to be fucking off-putting in and of itself.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. And dude, it was intense. It was like, actually my fingertips are still like a bit tingly.
Jesus.
Like, and it was like my hand was in a fire, and then from my shoulder to my wrist was like it felt like it was gonna explode.
Yeah.
It was just like immense pressure.
Yeah.
And it was probably 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But it felt like forever. I was like, how come they're not, like, I was literally banging the machine. It was like that donut thing, you know what I mean? That you go in.
Do,
like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm banging on that thing and nobody's coming, and
it's so scary. And that's part of the psychological fears of doctors and stuff.
Yeah.
So, because on the one hand, they're professionals. They've gone to school for a decade to do this specific thing. They've got all this experience, da-da-da-da. But at the end of the day, you do hear these stories. It does happen. And you have to be aware enough to be able to let them know if something really doesn't feel right. Like I had a lack of a better term, a mole on my chest that was recently cut out for biopsy.
Yeah.
And the guy, like, the doctor put the freezing in.
Yeah.
To pull the needle out. Within 3 seconds, he was cutting. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, is it long enough to fucking freeze? So I can't feel it. It had frozen, but I was feeling like the tug of the knife on my chest. And I'm like, I was just freaking out. The nurse was like, are you okay? I'm like, it's just psychological. Because I physically can't feel any pain.
Right.
But mistakes happen.
Well, and bedside manner goes a long way too, right? Like,
for sure.
Yeah.
So do you still have the oyster disease? What's happening?
I'm doing better. The stomach feels better.
But not 100.
It's not 100%, but it's better. It's getting better.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You should go. I've heard Kingston's a great hospital.
Yeah. You know what? We've been to Perth too, and Perth is really nice. Yeah. And there's like rarely anyone there. So.
Yeah.
But no, we're good. So, but getting back to comedy, there was something else I wanted to talk about too quickly. Because, like I said, I did 3 shows that week. And what did I do? I did Barley Mow on a Monday. I did Yuck Yucks on the Wednesday. And then I did that Portage Orchard Bavin's show in Gatineau. And I'm seeing sort of like the evolution of a punchline, which is like, this is new to me. And it's, you know, when we were talking about, I think it was that Steve Martin thing about let the audience tell you where the punchlines are or whatever. It was something like that.
Vaguely, but not specifically.
Like it was an idea that he was saying, like, drop the punchlines, basically go up and
yeah, he's an anti-comedy guy
and explore and let the audience tell you. So there's weird. I'm going through a weird thing right now because I kind of went more clean in the past 6 months. Like when I started, I was more like a little more like little shocking stuff.
I think I've noticed that.
Edgier stuff, yeah. And then I started going a little bit more clean. But then I think it was actually had to do something with Sam Tallent and going to see him and everything. And you know how like when you start listening to another comic, you kind of start mimicking them,
Yes.
like whether it's intentional or not.
Yes.
And he's pretty dirty, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, that's fun. I want to do stuff like it's like it wasn't a
Conscious
intentional thing or a
Right.
conscious choice. I started doing writing more edgy stuff and trying out.
Yeah.
But then I'm mixing it with my cleaner stuff,
Yeah.
and it's all messy now because now the audience doesn't know how to take me.
Yeah.
And what happened was, I've talked about it before. People are gonna think it's my only bit, but who cares? It's that the grocery store bit.
Yes.
And the way that bit ends is because she goes, "You're nice and tall. Get that off the top shelf." And then the end of the bit is I go, "You're nice and low to the ground. Could you grab that 30-pound bag of rice?" Super clean, but fun.
Great.
It does well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But here's the problem. I did some dirty stuff before that.
Yeah.
So when I got to that joke, and I was using it as my closer, when I went, "You're nice and low to the ground," people started going, "Oh," because they think I'm going to be like, "Blow me, you old skank." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what they wanted. So then when I said, "Can you grab that 30-pound bag of rice?" it fell.
Yeah.
Because they all wanted, "Blow me, you old skank."
I gotcha.
Man, it's so crazy.
This is set design 101.
Yeah.
It has to have a cohesive kind of flow and narrative. Well, it doesn't have to, but it helps.
Well,
it helps the audience
because
understand who you are.
You're confusing them.
Yeah.
Because then they're like, "Well, he's dark and edgy, so he's gonna say that." So, so that happened. So then at the next show, at Portage, I was like, "Okay, well, that's what they want. That's what I'm going to give them." So I switched it. At the next show I did blow. That's what I actually said. "Blow me, you old skank."
Yeah.
I kind of played with it a bit. I said, I went, "You're nice and low to the ground," and then I went, "All right, I have two different endings for this joke." Okay, and then I was like, "You want the clean one or you want the fun one?" And everyone was like, "Yeah, the fun one." So I was like, and it did well, but my wife was there and some friends of mine were there. And they were like, it was like I had disappointed my parents.
I believe it.
They were like, "What happened to your clean material?
Yeah.
We thought you were a clean guy now."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've disappointed them.
No, for sure.
But I'm like, yeah, but it did well. But then it's the whole finding your voice thing, right?
Yeah, but there's also just not contradicting yourself, which is crazy harder than it sounds. It's deceptively difficult. I know great joke writers to this day who still contradict themselves on stage. They're they've been doing it for longer than I have, and you're like, we just lost faith in everything you said, right? As soon as the audience picks up that one thing is just a lie,
False.
then they're like, what can we trust of any of this?
Yeah.
And a big thing of it, I've noticed, is like a lot of people talk, "So I'm single," right? And then they talk about being single, but then later, "So my girlfriend," they'll literally sometimes say that in the same set.
Yeah, you can't do
And then
that.
the audience doesn't know what the fuck to believe.
Well, yeah, and that's almost a different thing. That's almost just lazy. But what I'm talking about is like, who are you? You know what I mean? Like if Nate Bargatze starts his set with like a bunch of dick and shit jokes and then goes into his clean stuff, everyone's going to be like, "What?"
No, I know what you're saying,
mean?
but
Like,
I do think it's the same thing ultimately.
oh, because you're betraying their trust.
Well, you're being contradictory.
Yeah.
And I think that it sounds obvious, but it's not, especially if let's just go with the example of single versus in a relationship. Let's say you've spent the first 5 years of your comedy career in a relationship.
You're going to have a lot of relationship material.
And then that relationship ends.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do with that material? Do you just throw it out the window?
Yeah.
When do you start writing single material, and how do you reconcile that with
Right.
marriage material or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not that easy, right? Do you past tense one and future tense the other? Do you
Or make it about someone else, like
my friend, or
yeah.
like it? I know it sounds obvious, but it's not. It's kind of tricky, and especially once you get your quote unquote. Like, I think there's different sets too, right? There's definitely sets that you want to showcase and stuff, and there's sets that are professional sets, and there's sets that are independent or open mic sets.
My wife and I were talking about this on the way home. She was like, because she was talking about I'd done some dirtier jokes at the Portage Orchard thing. And she was like, yeah, like, I don't know. It just wasn't, the room wasn't into it. But I'm like, 3 nights before, those jokes killed at Yuck Yucks. So it's like, what's gonna work at the comedy club for 80 people isn't necessarily gonna work at the open mic for 20 people.
But then there's another level of like road work, paid professional road work, and what works at the comedy club might not work there.
Like in a different city.
Yeah.
Well,
Usually in more rural parts or smaller towns, right? Small town folks have different sensibilities.
For
So
sure.
you can murder at Yuck Yucks. It's not a guarantee it's going to do well on the road. And I think it's just levels of education. And each new experience you have adds a little bit of feedback, and you start to whittle it down. It's like, okay, I've got all this different feedback, and this works here, but not there. And eventually you just start to get to the fucking heart of it. Like, what can I take about this dirty joke and tap into that's more universal about it, and then expand on that part and build that part out. You know what I mean? Because I think dirty, clean is a distinction, but really it's not that big of a distinction, unless you literally are Nate Bargatze or fucking Jerry Seinfeld.
I think you have to pick, I think especially with a 6-minute set though, you kind of have to pick a lane.
But what I'm saying is, if you tap into you can be universal clean and you can be universal dirty. And I think if you I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly, but say you got a dirty set and a clean set and they got different punchlines. There's something you can find if you dig down deeper that's more universal. And it can be clean or dirty. It doesn't matter as long as it's accessible.
Okay.
That's what I would say is like the more important part than specifically clean or dirty.
And I think sometimes I'm tempted to go for those, those shock punchlines, which are like not even necessarily that clever or funny. It's just a shocking thing to say. We've talked about it before.
So easy sometimes.
It's lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just hard not to do sometimes because you're like, it's the short-term gratification, right? You just like, oh, I'm just going to say this thing and everyone's going to laugh and then it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
Do it all. I wouldn't say shy away from clean, shy away from dirty. Do it all.
Yeah.
It's all going to come back around. You're working towards something better, bigger, and that transcends both.
Although I don't know if I will mix them together because they don't seem to mix well for me. Because it's like...
yeah, but you could, though. If you came out clean-ish, they're going to get an anticipation of what you're going to say. Well, that's a bigger twist for them at the end when you do come out dirty.
See, maybe I just set it up the wrong way.
Yeah, you can make it work for
I think it's harder if you're going to start edgy and then go clean because they're expecting the edgy punchline, and then you give a clean punchline and they're like, what?
It's a letdown. But the other way
works.
Try it out.
Man, it's so much fun. Okay, well, we're going to segue into the Sam Tallent, the Toads morale. What'd you think of this? Well, first of all, we went to see him live.
We did. Now, I didn't know who this guy was.
You didn't know at all.
Lee hits me, says, hey, let's go see Sam Tallent, because we were thinking about doing a special anyway.
Yep.
He's coming to town. I'm like,
let's go see him. We can watch the special, and then we can talk about seeing him live and the special on the pod.
So we saw. Now, I didn't know who he was.
Didn't know
the live version was my first interaction with this fella.
And it was incredible.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And we got to meet him. We were a little bit early. We got there. He was at the bar. He came walking past. I said, "Sam Tallent, how are you?" He stood and shook our hands and chatted for a little bit. Couldn't have been nicer.
You know what I love? I still think about this. He was saying about how it was so cool. He had only been to Ottawa, like it was his first time, and he'd sold out 2 shows.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, man, that's fucking awesome, especially considering the Ottawa Senators are in the playoffs and they got a game tonight. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And do you remember what he said?
No.
He's like, all right, that's enough of the sincerity, eh, boys? And then he walked off. And I'm like, fucking awesome. That was epic.
He's a smart dude, eh?
So
like
bright.
you can tell that even just some of the words he uses are like, you know what, he's obviously has a giant vocabulary. Like, because they're like, you know when people use words where like, you know what it means, but it's not a part of your vocabulary.
Of course, yeah, of course. But I love
because of context, I know what it means, but like I would never, don't ask me to spell it.
But I like that because I'm a word guy.
Yeah.
But even the words he's saying, I'm like, I gotta look that one up. I actually wrote one down for later.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. But,
No, he's a smart dude. Incredible show. He was so funny. It was at the Laugh Lounge, which is a great venue.
Although he had some feedback
about the venue. Yeah, the sign that reflects.
He basically roasted the venue for a good 10 minutes right out of the gate, which was awesome because this is like our hometown. This is our home turf. And here's this amazing comedian just coming and talking shit about it. It felt really wonderful.
Which you can do if you need to have a certain level of notoriety to do that. Because I've seen comics from Toronto performing in Ottawa that, yeah, sure, they're from Toronto and Toronto's a bigger city, but I still don't know who you are. And they'll go in on the venue and then now you just look like a dick.
Well, I think we've talked about this before, and I always fall on there's the right way to do it and not the right way to do it.
If it's funny, it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's not funny, you just look like you think you're above performing at whatever venue, and you're not. Yeah. Really, you should be thanking everybody for coming and thanking the staff for having you because you're nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's just what
I still think you can be nobody and make fun of the room in a funny way.
If it's funny, it's funny. Yeah. It's like racial jokes or anything else. It's like if that's how we get away with it. If it's funny, you get a pass. If it's not funny, you just sound like a dick. So I guess that's what it is. But for me, it helps to have that notoriety. Like if you are someone with some accolades and whatever, then you don't think so?
No.
Well, yeah, no, you're right. Because if it's not funny, it's still not funny. You're still going to look like a dick.
Still funny or not funny.
You're right. I hate when you're right. Should I blow the slide whistle?
You need to keep it closer.
I do. I feel like it's clashing with my sweater.
We need a slide whistle assistant. Hey, if you're looking for some unpaid internships,
reach out.
And you know the slide whistle.
If you know your way around a slide whistle.
If you majored in slide whistling in university.
Slide whistlery.
Give us an email.
Yeah. Aren't we special podcast @gmail.com. We're getting some love on the YouTubes.
I haven't even checked. I've been busy. I can't even deal. And I'm always terrified people are going to.
So, yeah. And we said that I would take on that because you do the bulk of the work with the clips and everything. So. Yeah. But I find like people will leave comments and I'll be like, I usually just end up liking them because I'm like, I don't know what to say.
No, it's tough. I know. And it's like the thing is, it's always at their beck and call. It's not like you get to, I mean, you can, I guess, just set aside an hour a week or whatever. But we release clips like 3 to 5 times a week. So every day there could just be new comments at any given time. And that anxiety is just like,
and I haven't
fucks with me.
And Spotify comments, I haven't figured out how to respond to yet.
Fair.
I tried to, and so.
I did see one. What was it?
My buddy Sean.
I don't know who it was, but they were like, "This podcast is right arm." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, right on."
Yeah, and I think the name was Ryan Burke, which I went to there was a Ryan Burke that I went to high school with. Okay. So it could be him. I have no idea.
Keep supporting the channel,
Yeah,
Ryan.
thanks for listening, everybody.
We did, honestly, we do appreciate, because the numbers aren't bad.
No.
We're a new pod.
It's doing okay.
Fuck, we get, every time I see a new one released and it's like 25 views in 12 hours, I'm like, who are these people? But
they're waiting for it.
Glad to have you aboard, folks.
And now we have the slide whistle.
It's gonna fucking blow up.
Their minds are gonna be blown. So Sam Tallent. So is there anything else? So I think one major takeaway from seeing Sam Tallent live was, you mentioned on the way home, you were like, he did everything. Like, he was doing crowd work, he was doing bits, he was doing one-liners, he was just like, he did everything.
You can't put him in a box. That's what I took away.
Yeah. So no, you can't, because he does a bit of everything. So I think my biggest observation about him is that he seems so smart, but he does such silly comedy.
I know.
But he does it in a smart way.
That's exactly right.
Which is so crazy, because for me, when I think about when I put intelligence and comedy together, I'm thinking observational comparisons. You know what I mean? That kind of, he doesn't do any of that.
Yeah.
I don't think he had a single joke where he was like, you ever notice
I know
where this is like this?
Just straight goofball energy from start to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So goofy. But like, and I want to check out his books, because
me too.
There was some of his, he's got two now, eh? He's got one called Running the Light, which I almost bought because I have a pretty big collection of comedian biographies or autobiographies, whatever they are. And I thought that that's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
And then I saw that it was fiction.
Yeah.
And then I didn't buy it because I was like, oh, I'm not really a fiction guy.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm going to check it out. He's got a new book called Brute. He was just on Kill Tony too. He's such a beast. Like, even on Kill Tony, he was the only guest on Kill Tony last week.
Yeah.
And like, there's parts of the show where he's like stepping in and like saying things that like Tony should have been saying as the host of the show. Like, he's just so smart and like
fast off the top.
Oh yeah.
And just adaptable.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever the situation, we saw him live deal with not hecklers per se, but just people who just wouldn't quite shut the. They just needed to tone it down. They were interrupting him.
Yeah.
And he did it in such a cool, flowy way.
Well, he's so lovable.
He's so likable.
Which is funny because he's dark, he's dirty.
Yeah.
He's, you know what I mean? But he's still so lovable.
Just big goofball energy. You never knew which direction. In fact, we talked about on the way home too, I think. So he came out and just riffed off the top for like 10 minutes, basically about the room, the exposed pipes, the sign that blinds half the audience, whatever.
Yeah.
Which is, again, amazing, because like, as someone who's sat and performed at the Laugh Lounge, I've thought this. And so to hear this guy say my thought, I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then he was just like in and out with the crowd all the time, and just like we didn't stop and take a breath.
No.
Until 20 minutes, 25 minutes in. Like, he just came out so hot.
Yeah.
Before it really settled into his
material,
let's say. And to the point where I even mentioned this on the way home, like, by the time he got to his closer, and it's this kind of like, 10-minute, 12-minute story about
the Disneyland
and whatnot. It almost felt like, go back to the fun, organic stuff. It felt like a change in energy almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, you obviously want to have a closer.
Right.
But I think that show was so hot and so just chaos and fun that the story, the elongated story, was almost like a step down in intensity.
Well, for sure. In intensity, yeah. I think he is working on a new hour.
Yeah.
Which will be really cool to see his next special, because we got to see we'll get to see a bit of the progression of the bits. But I think that's what he's doing. And actually, stories are something I've been thinking about. I don't have. Do you have any stories?
Not too many. I've played with it a little bit. It's hard. I find it hard.
like, because you really got to punch them up, right?
Well,
Like,
it's a story is basically just,
and then it's got to have a big ending.
well, it's basically like 20 jokes with some connective tissue in between. But, and I've talked about this before, like, you can't put the horse in front of the carriage or a carriage in front of the horse. I don't understand how horse carriages work. But the jokes have to come first. If you just, if the jokes aren't there, then the story's not going to work. No one's going to pay attention long enough to hear the end of the story.
Unless it's a great story and you're peppering it with zingers that are good, and then it has like a crazy twist or something at the end.
It's a lot. I don't know.
It's a different thing.
The only way I've been able to do it, I've told, is just like, I find a few jokes on a theme, and then just slowly but surely another joke builds, and then you build out the story. And then another joke builds, and you build out the story. But if you try to go with the story before the jokes, it's like it all falls apart. So it's just like slow over time. It's kind of at the same pace as like writing jokes.
Yeah.
They just happen to be around a theme or an event, at least in my experience. Now, maybe I'm just not a storytelling stylistic guy. Some people are.
Not everybody has to do it. Like, I don't think, like, Seinfeld doesn't tell stories. You know what I mean?
No, not everybody has to do it, but some people are really good at it.
Yeah.
You know, that's their thing.
Yeah, it depends what you're.
But I've always been jealous, and I've always wanted to dabble.
It would be nice.
I find it tough because it takes. You're like, there's 10 minutes. But that's the trick, maybe, is that you think that, but then you're like, when you get to minute 2 and the jokes aren't very good anymore, like, oh, I actually still have to write 10 minutes of jokes.
Yeah,
They just happen to be within the context of a larger story.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not really a shortcut.
Yeah.
It's just a different format.
When we did No Forks that night in the winter, Alex Callahan had that story about opening for a magician.
Yep.
Like, I was blown away.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of an interesting story too, like inherently, like you're at a fucking birthday party with a magician and
It's funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just compelling.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice to have and I remember telling him that, like, man, that's so great. And he was like, yeah, it's just nice to have a chunk like that.
For sure.
And especially if you're getting into doing longer sets.
Yep.
To have a couple stories where you can just kind of get loose with them too, you know what I mean? Like, that would be nice. I do want to try to. It's also hard when you only ever do 6-minute spots.
For sure.
So how do you work on storytelling?
That's right.
When you've got, a bunch of zingers you want to do, and then anyways. What did you think? Sorry, did you want to say something?
Well, I think you're going to ask the question I was going to ask you.
Oh, what did you think of the special?
Yeah.
In comparison to seeing them live? Obviously, it's like seeing a band live versus sitting at home listening to a record.
For sure.
But I also do think, even without that aspect, I think that he's gotten so much, because that special's a couple years old now.
Yeah.
I think he's gotten so much better even.
I agree.
I think his material is even, and more stories. He's definitely doing more stories now. Like that whole Disney thing.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah.
But to be honest, the special, if we were only talking about his special today, I'd be like, it was good. I like the guy, you know what I mean? But my mind wouldn't be blown. My mind was blown seeing him live. And I'm so excited to see what he does next. If this was based only on that special, I'd be like, it was good. It's, for me specifically, it's not, I love the observational stuff. I love the comparison type comedy, and I like silly too, but I just find for an hour, I want like a little more meat.
Yeah. So I had my conception of him live versus the special are so different, because for one, he lost like 100 pounds from the time he shot the special to the time we saw him live.
Yeah,
so like my first
different
impression of him, he looks like Steve-O. He's like this kind of lanky, tall, just goofy, big smile, big like super prominent grin. And then on the special, it's like he's big. He's like an obese guy.
Yeah.
he doesn't look good. Like he's got this jaundice around his eye.
Yeah, he looks unhealthy.
He's still drinking. He wasn't.
Beer.
When we saw him live, he had mentioned that he'd been stopped drinking for 6 months or a year or something.
Yeah.
So, and it was almost like seeing two different people in a way. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, with the material itself, it was also I found it starkly different. Mm-hmm. And definitely, I think you're right. I think he's gotten a lot better. Mm-hmm. Not that he's bad. You're right. Like the special was
still great.
Good, but I honestly found the whole energy was completely different. So live, fun, goofball energy, start to finish. Special, this guy might open fire on the entire audience and murder everybody. I was nervous, like because first of all, he looks kind of unwell. Now again, this is through my perspective. Only seeing him for the first time live, where he's goofy, funny, healthy guy. Now I see obese, kind of dark, kind of like talking about being bullied a lot, talking about school shootings a lot. And like, he kind of had a bit of a sadder energy to him. And I wasn't sure how to really take it. You know what I mean? So it was a little bit like, what am I watching? Is this going to turn into like some snuff film?
Yeah.
I don't know. Still funny, very funny, and I loved his closer on the special too. That was, I think, by far the best, and it was about the bat swinging upside down like a bat.
Oh yeah,
amazing.
Yeah,
so damn funny. So like undeniably funny.
Yeah,
in the special too, but just a different energy that I've honestly, after seeing him live, was kind of off-putting.
I think that's what it was. It was a different energy. You're right. I think he was in a different place in his life. I think he was drinking Well,
and I think that special is what kind of blew him up. So when he would have shot it, he wouldn't have been at the level he is now. Not even close, right?
Well, because I think Shane released.
Yeah, that's where I watched it. Yeah.
Shane Gillis put out this.
On his
but it's 800-pound gorilla. But Shane,
there's two.
Oh, okay.
Because I saw the 800-pound gorilla, and then on Matt and Shane's secret podcast, they released it as well.
Okay.
But Matt's had like 2 million views, and the 800-pound gorilla had like 60,000.
But man, that's interesting though, because that shows you how important just like being healthy and mentally and physically healthy. Even if you're fantastic at something, any type of performance, I think your own, inner peace or whatever it is going to shine through and just change the whole experience.
For
you know
sure,
what I mean?
For sure.
Like, because it was almost like a warm, when we saw him live, it was like there was a warm vibe. He was welcoming. Yeah. You could tell he was like a nice person. I mean, we did have a nice interaction with him, so obviously that set the table.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can almost you pick up on people, right? Like, depending on how intuitive you are, I guess you can kind of pick up on sort of how these people, it's not like, are they a good person or not, but it's like, it's almost like content with themselves.
Well, yeah. And that's part of the job. Like, presumably the job is being a comedian, which is the funny person.
Right.
Part of that is just having fun. So if you're not having more fun than the crowd, you're kind of not doing your job in some sense, right? Yeah.
And if you're whatever, abusing alcohol or drugs or being unhealthy or whatever, morally, whatever the word is, you morally gay.
Writing that down.
You're not going to be happy with yourself. And the whole point is you're selling to make people laugh, but you're also selling yourself to that audience. And if you're not happy with yourself, it's going to be a stretch to win them over. Oh, yeah.
Now here's what I'll say, because maybe we got it totally backwards. Maybe Sam Tallent, if he hadn't gone through the special or just the headlining set where he talks about feeling like he's different because he's overweight and he's bullied as a kid and he's just got all these problems and whatnot. Maybe he never gets to the Sam Tallent that we've known today, right? Maybe you have to go through that to get to the other side.
Well, I think
maybe if he doesn't release it in comedy, he really does shoot up a school.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think a little bit of success goes a long way too, right? Like you have someone like Shane Gillis back your special, you make a couple of Kill Tony appearances. That's gonna blow up your game a little bit.
No doubt.
And then, you see that happen a lot, especially with overweight comics. They start having a bit of success and then they're like, oh, maybe life is worth living past 60.
Yeah.
Maybe I should lose some weight and stop drinking a case of beer every night.
Well, you know what? Now, another element I'll add to the mix. I checked out his podcast, which he does with, I think, 2 other comics.
Okay.
And honestly, you could tell it was an interesting dynamic because the other 2 comics were basically just talking a lot about like food and like specifically fast food. And you could hear Sam kind of pipe in and be like, you could just make that at home for like way less money. And he was trying to like actively encourage his friends who clearly have these habits
to be healthy
of like eating out consistently week after week. And Sam's kind of gone through that and gotten to another side of it.
I like to eat out consistently week after week. That's not going to get old, is
it? 200 more times and then we'll cut it out.
All right.
But so it's almost like he's grown and now he's still hanging out with his friends who were doing what they were all doing 5 years ago. And you're like, how is this going to work? Are his friends going to catch up or is he going to have to like find new friends? Like, what is it? It's an interesting dynamic. Like addicts go through that when they get clean.
Yeah, you gotta drop the dead weight sometimes. Yeah. So, how much? Yeah. Maybe we're totally off base here. Maybe that's not the point at all. And I don't want it to sound like we're shitting on the special. It's a good special.
No, it was very good.
I think it's just that
go see him live for God's sake. Like that's the main point.
He was so incredible live, and his new stuff is so killer. And I've even heard other podcast like big popular comedy podcasts, successful comedians talking about how his new material is so killer, and they're not wrong. It really is. Just trying to think of anything I wanted to say. Like he's definitely a master of holding attention. Like he doesn't give you time, even as a poster child for ADD. He doesn't give you time to start drifting.
No,
because it's so much fun, and I felt that way even about the special, even though to me it wasn't, obviously the same experience as seeing him live, but even listening to the special, I was tuned in the whole time. He doesn't give you time to go into.
He's pretty awesome and so off the wall. So like I found it super hard to predict where the next laugh was coming.
Yeah,
because he just goes so unique, puts such a unique spin on stuff.
Yeah.
Out of left field and but just consistent and relentless pace and
Oh, there was one thing I wanted to mention was, did you notice, so in the special, he's joking about someone drinking from his belly button.
Yes.
And then he goes, and he had a couple tags, and then his last tag was, she's going to get mercury poisoning from the koi fish in my man pond.
Yes.
And then you can tell it didn't quite get what he wanted. Yeah. And then he went, "Oh, that's enough of that joke."
Yeah.
Meaning like he's probably going to cut that joke or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And he did the same thing at the Laugh Lounge. I forget what the joke was, but he had a tag or something, a punchline. And then he went, "Well, that time to cut that one from the act." I kind of like when comics, break the fourth wall and do stuff. As being someone who is obsessed with the art form and also doing that, it's just fun to see someone, I guess, at a higher level doing the same. Like, obviously they are, you know, everybody gets into that position where they are trying new material, and you got to find out if it works or not.
It could just be a stock save too. Right?
If it, yeah, but it's, the thing was, it still got a laugh. He didn't have to do that. He easily could have went on. It's not like it was silence, right? It was just not what he wanted, I think.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like self-editing in real time, right? Like, there was another thing I noticed at the Laugh Lounge when he was telling the story about Buzz Lightyear at the Disney World or Disneyland or whatever.
Okay.
And he said something about the Buzz Lightyear thing. Mascot guy, he was like, said something, you could tell he was like being loose with it. He was having fun with the story. And he said something about, he was like, I didn't even know there was a real guy in there or something like that. And it was just something he had thrown in. He could have easily skated past it and gone to the next thing, but he acknowledged it in real time. And he went, and he was like, that was, he was like, why did it? That was the stupidest thing I've ever said. Do you remember that?
I do remember him saying that. Now, I've seen Tom Segura like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And he did kind of the same. He was like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever said. And
Yeah.
you could tell it was real because there's stock saves where you can do it too. You know, the fucking, oh, I guess this crowd doesn't like cheeseburgers or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then you can tell when they're like, oh yeah, that was, I just heard myself and that was insane. Like,
Yeah.
why did I say that?
Yeah.
It's a cool moment.
It is cool because you're seeing, it's like you're seeing how the soup is made a little bit. And also it's just like, oh, this is real. Like this.
And everybody is still working at it.
Yeah,
Even the best in the world,
exactly.
it's never ending. It's,
Yeah.
you know?
And it's almost like, it's like seeing like a blooper. It's like you're seeing an unedited version. Yeah. It's real. It makes it dirty and raw, you know?
Won't see it on the special.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was great. I have one other thing that I wanted to say, but it's not about Sam Tallent. It's just about comedy. I want to sound off for a second. You ready for this? Should I play the whistle?
How about it?
So when you do an open mic, or I guess any comedy show, and I understand that you got to try new stuff out and it might not work. But I find it annoying when comics go up and they don't have, they clearly haven't prepared anything. And I'm not just like, oh, I find it annoying. Here's what I find annoying about it. I've invited friends to come out to this show.
Yeah.
And we want to have the best show possible, right? So it's like, I understand that people want to work out new stuff, but like, if you're just reading notes off your phone or like going through your book and being like, what else? And then you just have like things that you dislike or something, and it's like not even a premise. You know what I mean? You're just like saying things. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, at least have an idea that you've put some thought into. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, like, to go up and be like, oh, you know, I hate it when you can't find a parking space. Like, that's not even a premise. That's just something that you don't like. A premise would be, you know, don't you hate it when you've made a reservation at a restaurant and you got to be there for a certain time, but you can't find a parking space, you know, too bad you can't make a reservation for a park. Like some sort of comparison or an idea to set up, to go into something. But like, yeah, that's all I'm saying. Is like,
I have thoughts.
Prepare. Yeah. Okay. What do you got? Am I out of line?
I think we tune in next week.
Yeah.
To hear my thoughts.
Okay.
On your take.
Oh, I like.
What do you think?
To be continued.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, so we're ending this week on comics. I'm saying that comics need to be more prepared with new material. At least have an idea of where you want to go with it, instead of just like a thought.
And I'm going to tell you what's up in 7 days, folks.
Sweet.
come right back here, same bat
wait.
time, same bat place,
I'll have my slide whistle.
and hear my bad answer.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Go see Sam Tallent, for God's sakes.
Sam Tallent. So see live comedy. Check out Sam Tallent. He's amazing. He's on Kill Tony. I think he has a couple specials, doesn't he?
I don't know.
I think he might have an older one there too. But
Yeah.
he's awesome. I'm gonna buy his book, Running the Light. He's got a brand new book called Brute, and I want to check them out.
And a podcast with...
Yeah, what's that called? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay, he's got a podcast.
Yeah.
Google it.
Check it out. All right.
All right, that was another episode of Aren't We Special. See you next week.
Bye, folks.